Hey everybody, welcome to Cody Tarot. I'm your tarot reader, Cody. In today's tarot/oracle pick a card reading, we are going to be filming who will you marry and how will you meet them. So we're going to be pulling a little bit of dynamics between you and this other person, how your guys' relationship kind of works. And then we're going to get into your meeting and how you guys meet each other and all that good stuff. So we have 3 groups in front of us. A different oracle or tarot deck is associated with each bracelet. So you're going to pick the bracelet and the oracle deck that you most align with, or that you most align with in this moment when you're watching this reading. Remember, this reading is timeless. So whenever you come upon it, that's kind of the right moment for you to watch it. Even if you bookmark it, save it for later, so you don't start watching it now, you watch it later, it'll still, whenever you pick your pile, that will be your pile. So let's get into the groups. For group 1, we have the Animal Spirit and this bracelet. Group 2, Astro Matrix Tarot and this bracelet. And for group 3, the Love Story Oracle and this last bracelet. The way a pick a card works is you select one of the groups, and don't worry, I'm going to show you up close one by one the bracelet. I'm also going to pull a card for each group. So there will be a tarot card or oracle card for each group as well. But the way this works is you pick a group, 1 through 3, one of those groups, and then in the description box of my video, there will be groups listed with timestamps. You select the timestamp associated with your group, it'll fast forward you to your reading. So if you've never done a pick a card before, that's how it works. So let me get into showing you the card and the bracelet for each deck and bracelet. Okay, so for the first Animal Spirit deck, your guys' card to choose from is, we have the Frog Spirit card. So I'll show you this bracelet up close with the Frog Spirit. This bracelet has little X's on it, and then I think this is some kind of howlite, like a dark howlite, or some kind of howlite that's actually dark, I think. I don't know what its name is, because I just know what white howlite looks like, but I think this is howlite. And so your card is the Frog Spirit. So this howlite bracelet and the Frog Spirit card for group 1. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm so klutzy. For group 2, let's get a card for you guys as well. So let's get an Astro Matrix Tarot card for group 2. Also, all these decks will be used in the reading today, along with a few others. So your guys' card, 10 of Swords. Okay. So we have this red, orange, yellow, white bracelet, and we also have the 10 of Swords. So if you're drawn to this bracelet and this card, remember, you might not actually want a 10 of Swords relationship, but maybe you're feeling like the 10 of Swords right now, and that's why you picked this pile. So keep that in mind. Or you're just drawn to the 10 of Swords in general. But so yeah, group 2 is this I don't know what to call this. I'll call it the Fire Bracelet. And we also have the 10 of Swords. Let me put this up here and your bracelet down here. And then last, for the Love Story Oracle for group 3, let's get your card here. For group 3, we have Effort, and we have this bracelet. We'll call this the Silver Bracelet. So we have the Fire Bracelet, the Howlite Bracelet, and the Silver Bracelet. So this is group 3 with the Silver Bracelet, and your card today is Effort. So, yeah. So let's put this card down here. I'll put your bracelet up here. So you can pause the video here if you need more time to select your group. But without further ado, I'm going to get started with the reading. I'm going to do a little fun thing here so I don't have to write down the decks in the description box. I'm going to do a screenshot of the decks after the pile selection, so you guys can see all the decks that I use in today's video. If you're drawn to any of them, or you read tarot yourself and you're curious about a deck, I'm going to put all the decks on screen right before the reading. So yeah, I'll do that right after this, but I'll give you a second to pick your pile. Okay, moving on with the reading, starting with group number 1, the Frog Spirit. All right, see you guys in your reading. Hey group one, this if you picked the frog spirit card and the dark howlite bracelet. So let's get into your reading. Setting these aside. Good news for pile 2, because I'm not using the cards that I pulled for the indicator cards. So those will be out of the reading. We won't be using those in actual reading. So the frog spirit won't be in your reading. It's just kind of how you selected the pile. So let's get into it. I want to pull animal oracle cards for you and your other person, the person you will marry. Okay, let's see. So let's get an animal oracle card to represent group 1, who they are. We have Phoenix came out. So we have this oracle card to represent who you guys are. And let's get a animal oracle card to, okay, this one wants to come out quick. Wolf, that's their personality. So you guys represented as Phoenix, they're represented as Wolf. Let's get a Moonology manifestation card. Okay. That was a vague. Okay, so let's get a Moonology manifestation card for you guys. For your connection. Oh. We have New Moon in Libra, Know You Are Loved. And then I'm going to be pulling a Love Story Oracle card and the Citadel card. So for your Love Story Oracle card, we have gifts. For your Citadel card, we have the twins. Wow. So put that over there. This is a little too far over. Okay, I'll put that there. Okay. Now we're going to get some tarot cards and then we'll get right into your reading. So let's get some tarot cards for group 1's marriage. We have 3 of Wands. I'm putting it right there. And then let's get some other cards on the table for group 1. Okay. We have 9 of Pentacles. We have 8 of Pentacles, and we have 7 of Cups. I think I'm going to just stick with 4 cards on the screen today. And we'll pull those closer. Okay, let's get into your reading. Okay, let's get into it. So first, let's talk about you and your partner, who you're actually going to marry. So with Phoenix here, you guys are represented. You can use this as a little check to see if you kind of pick the right pile. Because if this doesn't resonate, you know it's not talking about you, you can move on to the next group or a different group, right? We'll start with that right away so you know if you pick the right pile. So first, I want to point out that you guys are adaptable. This is kind of the energy that I'm seeing for you. You're very adaptable, but the way you adapt to situations is you restructure or reconfigure your personality every so often to be reborn into the times that you live in. The way this could work is kind of what I'm kind of seeing here for most of you is that the times you're living in, like the times that are changing around you, are kind of always evolving. Like, I mean, in the world and in society and in just the bigger universe, everything's always changing, right? There's always shifting, there's always adaptability, there's always changing, right? You guys might have a lot of mutable placements in your chart, but the main thing that I'm seeing is that every so often, you guys kind of feel like there's always this feeling of slipping behind, right? Of like, I can't quite catch up with society or with things like of that nature. So there's this need to be reborn every so often, so you're on the same level as the change you're experiencing. So this is not an adaptability where you're always adapting to societal changes, where you're kind of adapting every so often is what I'm seeing. And you kind of create a new personality. For a lot of you, you're creating a new personality. For some of you, you just might adapt in other ways. So this could just be like maybe going a long time without updating your phone, and then all of a sudden, in like one fell swoop, you update your phone, you learn all the new apps, you learn how technology operates, and you get caught up to speed with the rest of the world around you. And so in this way, you guys are very adaptable because once you get caught up, you're almost the front runners of trends. Like you're the ones kind of being like, oh, you have to do this or look at this or notice how this person's dressing or whatever. You guys kind of have that front runner quality, especially when you get caught up. And I'm seeing it actually is like very sudden how you guys get caught up with the rest of society or your friend group. Whatever this is, say your friend group's changing all the time or something like that, or new people are coming in and out and you really don't have a firm grip on the type of people that are around you. Every so often you'll just get this clear picture of like, oh, this is what is going on with my friends. This is where it's headed. And you'll shift your personality to not only be more aware and oriented in the present moment, but because you're reorienting to the present moment and you're in that flow of change that the universe is operating in, you actually can see into the future clearer as well. And so for a while, you can kind of ride that wave as you kind of progress. And it's kind of like this reinvention. That's how I'm seeing the Phoenix card here, is that every so often you reinvent your personality. Now, this doesn't seem like an adaptable change that's constantly going with the flow, right? I'm not seeing that. In a way, you guys might feel stiff or you might feel like you can't adapt quick enough or something like that. And sometimes I see a little bit of anxiety or a little bit of panic, like the whole world is leaving me behind. Like I've been in my house for like 5 years and the whole world's changing and I don't know what to do. But you guys always adapt. You always reinvent yourself. You always come and there's always a breakthrough. It's almost like you guys realize that in some moments of your life, you're very behind on things. And then at other moments of your life, you're very the front runner and you're very much the person who is setting the trends. You're very much the person who is leading society, right? That's kind of what I'm getting with this card. Another quick thing I want to mention, the Phoenix card in this deck represents the root chakra and it's literally just wings and a ball of flame, right? I think this is just indicating that with the wings here, you guys are always soaring. You're always flying, even if you feel like someone clipped your wings and you cannot keep up with the tides or the best way I can put it is like the breeze flow of change. I don't normally refer to change as the tides, the changing tides, but I'm seeing like an air metaphor here. But your flame is always going to burn bright. I think that's something that always sticks with you, even if you're not caught up with trends or technology or the latest fashion or anything like that. With Phoenix here with that flame, your flame is always lit. So even if you're stuck in a time of like 5 years ago and you haven't made that transformation yet, you're always burning brightly. You guys are the type of people that shine. You kind of have this shining quality to you, or you have this quality that's like very warm. Like I'm almost getting like a campfire where people like to huddle around you and kind of experience your warmth is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Yeah, and with the spirit symbol up here, you guys, I'm just getting that you guys could be very spiritual, or you could be very in tune with your root chakra, or you could be in tune with fire specifically, or you could be in tune with birds or flying creatures. You might look at creatures that soar up in the sky and you might think, wow, they really have it. That, you've made it if you end up being like a hawk or a crow or something. I feel like you guys look at flying creatures with kind of like awe and astonishment is kind of what I'm seeing. Okay, so that is a little bit about you. So if you pick the right pile, those are the traits that are describing you in this group. With Wolf Spirit person, here's the person you're going to marry. So first of all, you're attracting a very stable and grounded individual. That's what we see here with the Earth sign right up here. A very stable and grounded individual who at first seems like dark and mysterious because we have this dark color up here. But if you notice the reds and oranges emanating off your personality in the Phoenix card, when you get to the Wolf card, there's this glow coming from in front of him and illuminating him in the back. And this is kind of this darkness is kind of this wolf shadow. This is kind of representing what happens when your future spouse looks at you, right? They might look at you with these intense eyes and the thing about this is they're really just absorbing your energy. They're absorbing your warmth. They're absorbing your fire. And it's kind of like banishing the darkness within them. So this person might have a lot of dark, shadowy thoughts. A lot of maybe disturbing thoughts is kind of what I'm seeing. And I don't know if they share them or not. I don't know if we're going to get into that in this reading. I haven't gotten to the rest of the cards, but they kind of have this darkness about them, right? This person that you're attracting might like darker, scary things like horror movies. They might like the occult. And the vibe that I'm getting is they just have a sense of like a dark mystery or a mystique about them, right? I'm also thinking right now of wolves in the cold. I think this person can survive in really harsh times. I'm imagining like Game of Thrones right now in like the winter, you know? I don't know if you guys watch Game of Thrones. I couldn't get through the whole season, but yeah, it was good while it lasted. I get bored with TV shows and I can't finish them. But anyway, this is giving me like winter vibes. Like you're kind of cozied up. And with your phoenix and the fire here, I see that there's a kind of duality to both of you, where one of you is kind of the one that goes out and like gets the resources and hunts, and that's represented by your partner here. But then they always get to come back to this home base where it's like you guys are represented with this warm flame, right? I also am seeing another metaphor here that's going to apply for the other group of you that don't resonate with your partner going out and getting all the resources and coming back home, and you guys being kind of like more of a homemaker. There is a vibe here with the flame in front of the wolf of kind of like you guys leading the way. So this could be in alignment with the previous example that I said, but basically you're leading the way. So you guys might be the ones with the ideas. You guys might be the ones with the solutions. You guys might be the one solving problems. And this wolf is kind of like seeing you, and it's like a guiding light for them in the dark, right? They kind of get stuck up with, in their head, or sorry, it's not stuck up, caught up. They get caught up in their own head and kind of like sometimes let dark thoughts dominate them. They're very successful in the world and they're very stable. So even though they have kind of like a darker mind, they're always going to have this grit and determination, and they're going to have this sense of security about them. I think they're going to ground you guys a lot, even though it's kind of like their third eye's pretty jacked up or is like going on fire, or like there's a feeling of their third eye presenting them with more darker visions or something like that. But on the outside, they're super grounded. They're super realistic is kind of what I'm seeing, or like somewhat realistic at least. And they're looking for someone to light them up with inspiration, with ideas, with the ability to show them the future, essentially. And that could happen as far as them going out and getting resources too. I don't want to leave that out if you guys resonate with that example too. It could be that at home, you guys discuss a lot of ideas, you discuss a lot of plans, and then they go out into the world and they kind of actualize these plans in reality. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing for the wolf here as far as your spouse goes. One cool thing about your guys' connection with New Moon in Libra, Know You Are Loved. This is a really interesting thing, and I think this is something that's very valued in a lot of relationships, but very much like overlooked. Because we see here in the Seven of Cups, one thing I was getting with this energy down here in your guys' connection is a way that energy progresses. And I'm going to tie it into Know You Are Loved right now. But with Seven of Cups, you guys might have like a distractible mind in the sense that you're not sure, not necessarily like the wolf who just has these kind of disturbing thoughts, but they don't really affect their personality. But when they meet you, it's like you burn off these thoughts essentially, and then they feel a little bit more relieved. It's like a weight's been lifted from them. For you, I see you guys have a little bit of a distracted mindset or distracting thoughts. You guys might have kind of in a sense a distractible nature, or a nature that, how do I put this? You guys could be jealous, or you could have had relationships in the past where your distractible nature got in the way of your connection, or something about you guys getting distracted or seeing another partner or something like that, and you really like that partner, and then you kind of didn't know who to choose, or there's like multiple partners involved, and that could be on your end or your ex's end. So previous partners that you guys have had could have had a distractible nature, right? I'm seeing this distractible nature is kind of an energy that is very, like the wings and the phoenix is very up in the sky. We see the clouds here with the Seven of Cups. It's very up in the sky, right? It's very much like, oh, what's next? What's this? What's that? And it's kind of like the wolf energy here has this grounding influence that kind of focuses you on security and loyalty and commitment. I kind of see you guys want commitment too. But overall, back to the jealous feelings, if you guys have felt jealous or insecure in partnerships at all, or just in general, not sure if you're going to find someone who loves you the way you need to be loved in order to make a commitment, maybe you guys just haven't been ever loved in the right way, and that's what distracted you. It's like your partner wasn't giving you the love you deserve or the right kind of love, and it made you doubt the relationship, or it made you think they were cheating, or it made you think they were doing something else, or it made you feel like, at least in the smallest form of this, you could have relationships in the past where you felt like your partner was very distant, like your partner was distant or didn't want to get close or something like that. And part of that is represented by the Phoenix energy here, the flame, right? It's very much like, first of all, the fire is bright, right? If you look at it too long, especially a bright flame, you could go blind. And also with the Phoenix energy here, there's a feeling of if you get too close, you're going to get burned. And that could be one of the reasons why partners have kept their distance. And what I'm seeing here is this all stems from paranoia, from fears that your relationship's not going to work out, from all these little factors that really indicate insecurities, right? It's basically just insecurities. I see you guys still struggle with that. And you guys might be working on that, who knows? But when I see with your partner here, even if those insecurities are in the beginning of the relationship, with the Eight of Pentacles here down here, this is a long-term card. Eight of Pentacles is long-lasting. You're in it for the long haul. It's the cycles of the moon. It's kind of like keep chugging along no matter what. I see that is going to be a strong element in your connection. And with new moon in Libra, know you are loved. This is kind of where you're going to slowly, as this relationship progresses, trust your partner more and more. And I don't think with this relationship, it's going to be like super easy right off the bat. I think there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, because I think you and your partner maybe were burned before, right? But there's such a sense of trust between you two. And I think that comes right away. And so I think any lingering doubts, any lingering thoughts about the connection are kind of soothed. And with the Seven of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles, you're moving from the seven energy of this fantasy, distracted, paranoia in your head about what's going on, to this Eight of Pentacles, very grounded energy where things progress smoothly, right? And a lot of this comes from the wolf spirit, your partner's energy with that earth energy. They have a grounding effect on your flightiness, right? I think they're still going to let you fly. We see that with the seven coming after the eight, but it's kind of this energy of like, I always feel safe. I always have a home to come back to. I always feel committed to my partner. I think you guys might have struggled in general with commitment, or people committing, or people not wanting to take the time to commit to you. And with this marriage, you have that. So with know you are loved, this is the bedrock of your connection. First, with new moon in Libra, I'm seeing a few things as far as like your guys' first meeting. Now we're going to get into your guys, how you guys are going to meet. But the new moon in Libra, know you are loved. I see it's kind of a new person. I don't think this is someone you've known before, or this is someone in your life now. Now, it could be someone you just met, especially I get a lot of people who do my readings and they're like, oh my gosh, I just met this person. It played out exactly how you said. And that's how you know it is this person, right? But for most of you, it could even be that even if it's someone you've known in the past, the vibe that I'm getting with new moon in Libra is there's a freshness to this connection, a total freshness. I'm also seeing that with the Libra energy here, there's a feeling of communication at first in this connection, of exchange of ideas. And so I think the connection at first, on first meeting, is very intellectual. I think you guys discuss a lot of ideas. I think the whole aspect where you're lighting their way, like I mentioned earlier, where you guys do discuss ideas, I think that's that first spark. That's that first moment in the connection where you realize, like, the wolf spirit person's definitely going to realize, like, whoa, this Phoenix person, group one, has so many brilliant ideas. Like, I could act on these and make something. Like, the way their ideas are coming to me, it's like I could use them. I could utilize them in practical ways. And I think the Phoenix person is seeing this wolf have this hunger in their eyes, right? This wolf person gets this kind of like hunger in their eyes when they're listening to you. And they're kind of like, wow, like I'm really into this. I think the wolf person really pays attention to the Phoenix person, where other people may have looked away because the light was too bright. You know, the idea was too grand, or the idea was too fantastic or something, or however your ideas come across. Maybe someone thought it was unrealistic, something like that. those people have looked away, right? Or they were intimidated by the brightness, which has left you guys feeling that jealousy thing or that insecurity that I mentioned earlier. But this wolf person is looking at you with hungry eyes, eager for the information. That's something that starts off initially in this connection, right? So initially that trust is built because you can respect each other's minds. You can respect the way the other one thinks. And that's coming through very strongly. With new moon in Libra, I do see this as kind of an energy of like a new way of communicating, or a way of communicating that you haven't experienced before, or just the fact that someone's listening to you. It's like someone's actually listening and paying attention to what you're saying. That's kind of a vibe here that could come off as very refreshing. So know you are loved. I think immediately you have that communication aspect. And with know you are loved, this is a very harmonious connection in the long run. And I want to let you guys know, with know you are loved, this is an energy that you will have in the long haul, in this connection for the rest of your guys' life. I am seeing this marriage lasting quite a while, especially with the Eight of Pentacles here. This is a longevity card, and I do see it lasting quite a while. So keep that in mind. If you're you don't want to like have a marriage and get divorced or something like that. I do see this next person you're going to marry, or who you will marry. Maybe it's not the next person, but the person after that. Whatever this marriage is, you will have that commitment for the long haul. And with know you are loved, you're going to get this sense of knowing eventually in this connection where there's no doubt in your mind. No doubt, not a single doubt. I think it's going to be hard for you guys to think of right now, because I think all your relationships, you've doubted your partner's feelings for a lot of them because of that distractibility from on their end, right? But with know you are loved, really and truly, you will know on a deep core level that you are loved by your partner. And more than that, you are loved through yourself. Like you're loving yourself as well. It's like there's a deep feeling of love and commitment with this partner. So no matter what your situation, your relationship, right? This could apply even if you want an open relationship, right? You and your partner will be deeply committed to each other. It's not like anyone can come between you. There's really nothing that can come between you. I'm seeing this transfixedness. This wolf is so charmed and amazed by your guys' bright flame and your kind of warmth. And I think you've had people in your environment that kind of wanted to get warm by your fire. You have a lot of people that want to kind of get close and warm up and be your friend and enjoy maybe your humor, maybe your warmth, even your ideas, your inspirations. But this person just eats it up, right? They're not afraid to get close. They're not afraid to make contact. They're not afraid to give over that devotion to you guys, right? So that's something about your relationship, and we had a little bit of the meeting here about the conversation and the idea exchange, but let me get into more of the meeting down here. And yeah. Okay, so the way you're going to meet your partner, first we have gifts. This is giving me a few interpretations, and it's not coming through clearly as like one specific one, but gifts could be a few different things. So first, if your guys are going on a date, or you're meeting for the first time, or especially if this is a blind date, or this is a date where you met someone online, the first thing your partner's going to do, or not necessarily the first thing, but on the date, they will buy you a gift. So this is not dinner. This is not like going to the movies and then paying for the ticket. This is you guys going window shopping or looking at like boutiques or something like that during the day or at night, whatever, whenever the shops are open, and then buying you a gift. There's something about you looking at something that you want and then going, I'll buy that for you. So that's kind of one of the things you're going to know about this person, is they're going to want to buy you a gift. For some of you, this person might not buy you a gift and give it to you on the date. This person might give you the gift later, at a later date, right? Or they might save it for the second date. But this person is going to at least go back to the store and get the gift, right? But for most of you, I'm seeing they buy it for you right then and there, and they're like, I'll get it for you, whatever. Like, you can have this gift, And I think that's kind of something that you guys kind of like. I think it's kind of like a sweet gesture, and it's something that you mention you want, or you're looking at, or you desire, and they're kind of like, oh, I'll get it for you. So with the gift here, they're giving you a gift right off the bat. That's one interpretation of this card. For others of you, This person you're going to meet at a holiday party. This is great. Hopefully I get this reading up before Christmas, right? Because I think I will, because honestly, this is coming through for a lot of you, meeting someone at a holiday party, either a work party, a party with friends, someone showing up that's from out of town, that's coming back to your town or something like that. Basically someone's coming from out of town or someone's coming from somewhere else and they show up to this party and they have a gift. And that could be just how you're meeting them, right? You could be meeting them at a holiday party. That's kind of something that's coming through. So it could even be at like a birthday party. Say you are at one of your friends' birthday parties and they invite a whole bunch of people that you don't know. It could be one of those people in that crowd. You start talking to this person. You find out you guys are exchanging really great ideas. You're talking about a lot of intellectual topics. The information is flowing really easily. And that's kind of how you're meeting your person. So it could be those few different things. When you're meeting, it could be they buy you a gift. And also it could just be you're meeting this person at a special occasion. Specifically, it could be Christmas, a Christmas party, if you guys celebrate that, or a birthday party, or whatever cultural holiday you guys celebrate, or whatever cultural milestones throughout the year that you guys celebrate, they could be meeting you at one of these things. So it doesn't have to necessarily be traditional like we have in America, or I don't know if traditional is not the right word. I don't know why I said that, but it might not be something that we have like an American holiday, right? Like, especially if you're a viewer that's watching from another country on my channel, it could be something that your country does to celebrate, right? It could just be a celebration of some sort. Yeah, and that could even apply if you're in America too. It's like, it could be a graduation or something like that. And you meet this person at a graduation party or something like that. Maybe your sibling is graduating from college and you meet this person, it's one of your siblings' friends. It's the first time you've met them and you really hit it off, something like that. Another little key thing that I think is going to be important for you guys is you will meet this person when you're single. I don't think you'll be dating someone else. I don't think they're going to come along and distract you from some other partner. I think you guys will be at a point of your life with Nine of Pentacles where you're single, and I think you will have a little bit of financial independence during this moment. I am seeing with her outfit, she's dressed in kind of like a business casual. It's very elegant, but it's almost reminding me of like business, but at a wedding or a professional function, or even at like a cocktail party or something like that. But it's giving me like dressed up. It's giving me like this. It's further indicating with this gifts card. It's like you dressed up for the occasion, or they dressed up for the occasion. So you guys could be in suits. You could be in a dress when you meet this person, or you could be in a suit and they could be in a dress, depending on what type of viewer you are watching my channel. Yeah, there's a feeling of dressing up, looking your best, really putting a great outfit together. And I think you look successful. I think when you meet this person, you appear successful. You appear like you have it all together, that you have your life figured out. I think that's one of the reasons why this person is attracted to you, because they're looking for a person to share in their security, right? And I think they kind of appear this way as well. For some of you, they're dressed in this kind of outfit, like a hiker. They're dressed in kind of a more rugged kind of outfit, or a more relaxed, comfortable, casual outfit, while you guys are dressed in a fancy outfit. But for most of you, I see that you're both dressed up at this event. I think it's an event where it is dressed, it's like you guys dress up, something like that, and you guys meet at this event. With also the Nine of Pentacles here, another thing I want to mention, doesn't have to be, but I'm pretty sure you guys are financially stable at this point in your life. You have a good job, you have money coming in, you are successful in whatever you're doing. I think you guys have reached a pinnacle in like your career or something like that. And the reason I say for some of you, because I am seeing this appearances first kind of vibe. So it's almost like you appear that way to them. That's kind of what's coming through. So some of you might have actually achieved that state of being, but you don't have to. It's just how you're appearing to them. You appear successful. You appear confident. You appear like you have it all together, right? And that's kind of how they're seeing you on the first meeting. With Three of Wands here, I do think that there could be either a lot of messaging back and forth on social media after you meet, like exchanging numbers or exchanging socials or something and DMing each other or something like that. But with Three of Wands here, I think there's going to be a period where they're very busy and they might not text you back right away. So be aware of that this person, I think, is going through a lot at the time that you're meeting them, and they they want to text you back. Keep that in mind. They might even say that, right? They're probably going to say that, honestly. They're going to say, I really want to text you back. I love talking to you, but I have this thing going on, so I can't text you all day because of this or something like that, right? And you guys might be fine with that. Especially if you guys are very busy and you have this successful life, you might be fine with those texts back and forth just every once in a while, right? Because it's not going to be that big of a weight off your shoulders. If you're someone who's not that busy all the time and you're kind of just, you're a homebody or something, like I mentioned that earlier with the Phoenix, like you guys could be more of a homebody for some of you. There could be a feeling of just like waiting by the phone and like waiting for their text. I would not, how do I put this? Like, I would distract yourself, right? They're going to text you. It's not like they're not going to, right? Like, this person really wants to talk to you. I mean, they're your future spouse. They want to talk to you. They want to get to know you, but they're just busy. And they're every chance they get, they steal a second away from their active lifestyle to text you. They're like, you'll get texts at random times, but then they won't respond if you text them back, right? Because they're stealing moments from their daily routine, constantly wanting to text you, right? Constantly wanting to engage with you. But it's just that the messages on your guys' end aren't coming through like that. They're coming through sporadically. They're coming through like they're not caring about texting you, something like that. This reading is meant to confirm and like, how do I put this? Validate your initial meeting. I think you guys need to remember that the connection when you first met is so electric, right? It's so electric. And the ideas and the philosophies, even, that if you guys are getting that deep at the first meeting, there's an ease and flow of communication, right? And a real respect for how the other one thinks. And I think they're really going to try to make that, they'll make it known. Like when they text you, they'll say something like, I really want to text you, right? Or I keep wanting to text you, but I'm busy with this thing right now. And then when they message you back, it's like, God, this day's so busy. I just want to talk to you. They'll say stuff like this. They will affirm and they will confirm your guys' connection, right? They're not going to be the types to just not say anything, right? And say, oh, I'm so super busy. And then they don't confirm their feelings, right? They're going to confirm their feelings verbally, especially through text. Now, I don't know if they do this in person, but I think initially they do this. It's almost like initially they do this to kind of like make you feel secure. But as you get to know them, I think this is the type of person who shows love through actions, right? So it's more, and I think you guys prefer that in general. It's like you prefer actions over words is kind of what I'm seeing. Now, I don't see that in the card, so keep that in mind. That's just kind of something that I'm picking up on because I am seeing that kind of anxiety from you guys about the words and the texting and stuff like that. Just know they mean what they say. This person in particular means what they say. So let's get into the further rest of the meeting, right? This is kind of the first steps of how you meet, right? Or like your meeting process, I guess you could say. But these cards are interesting because like I mentioned, I already covered these cards and they show up as kind of like long-term factors to your connection. First of all, any distractible thoughts, like if you are attracted to someone else, if you are worried about jealousy or something like that from your partner or from you or something like that. Maybe you've had some pretty destructive relationships. And with the Seven of Cups, it's like just distractibility. So I know I'm covering these cards again. I already covered them, but I just want to reiterate so you guys are aware. With the Eight of Pentacles, longevity, long-term relationship, long marriage, long life together. Also, she is painting, so creativity could be a factor. I don't want to say that necessarily because that's not the message that I'm seeing from this card. The main message I'm seeing is longevity. With this tree that's growing, trees are very old, specific, especially like redwoods and oaks and stuff like that. I feel like this is going to have the longevity of like a tree's life, right? That's the kind of feeling I'm getting, right? And as the tree grows taller and taller and taller, you will be more and more shaded from the sunlight. And imagine this sunlight as something that's going to cause you a little bit of pain or discomfort or give you a sunburn or something like that. But you guys will be more and more shaded from kind of the issues that you're going through or the things in your mind, stuff like that. So keep that in mind for those two cards. Now, the last card I want to cover with the twins here was self-protection and dual natures. This is kind of how your relationship is spiritually, right? So spiritually with the twins here, first of all, both of you are represented by bird creatures here, and there's two animals on this card, which represents kind of like a duality to both of you. And it even says dual natures here. This is also represented by a water symbol, right? This is represented by a water symbol. So I think intuition is playing a big factor in your relationship spiritually. It's almost like you guys could read each other's thoughts, you could read each other's mind, and this is on a soul level. So don't expect to just know your partner's like exact thoughts, right? This is knowing their soul, having a connection to their soul and them having a connection to your soul. The cool thing about this card is this is felt the entire time you're together. Through the first meeting, through the paranoia that turns into this longevity and security, on a soul level, you are, like, how do I put it? Like, first of all, attached to your partner, but that's not the word I'm looking for right off the bat. I'm looking for the word like recognition, like you recognize that this person is like a part of you, right? And with the twins here, there could be similarities in your guys' connection, spiritual similarities, where one thing happens to one of you and then something synchronistic happens to the other one, even over great distances, right? You can think of how twins have a connection, like twin brothers and sisters, twin, you know, any person who has a twin will understand this, right? But this is gonna be kind of like a twinish kind of connection. Because the twins is here, I will point out that this could be a twin flame connection. If you're into that, if you're looking for that, this could be a twin flame connection. But yeah, with twins here, one of you could experience something and then the other one has it happen, something like that. Or one of you could be going through something and the other one's going through it at the same time. For example, if this wolf person is going out and getting resources, is doing things outside the home, is working and bringing back home the bacon or something like that, one thing that could be a possibility here is what you're thinking about at home while your partner's out at work could mirror what your partner is doing at work. When they come back home, they might tell you about their day and you go, I already know this. Like, I've been aware of this in my mind for quite a while. Like, especially today, like I was doing the dishes and I just thought, you know, maybe your boss was going to give you a promotion and I thought that'd be really great. And out of the blue, and I'm like, why am I thinking of that? And then this person comes home is like, guess what? I got a pay raise. What, you know, that's kind of the vibe here. That's the spiritual connection with the twins card. And with self-protection, I'm seeing a strong vibe with the word self-protection of you guys being a protected unit from the world, right? You guys have such a cool relationship that you guys can protect each other from slings and arrows from other people. And that's something coming through kind of as a side note, because I feel like both of you don't really have that issue. I think, first of all, you guys are very likable with that warm fire. You just have a lot of people in your environment who are very distractible because they can't, like, either they overheat by the fire or they're burned out by the light. They can't like be in your presence for very long because of the light, but they enjoy it. They kind of keep coming back to warm up and then they walk away, right? And that's the kind of relationships you guys have had. But really, I'm seeing this vibe of you guys being very likable, and the wolf person's only really issues is like kind of like disturbing thoughts, right? That you guys are going to eventually eliminate by your warmth and your light. But they kind of have this dark aspect to them, or dark kind of a energy. It could be like a Saturnian thing. I don't know. That Saturnian thing affecting their thoughts. Maybe Saturn in the 12th. I don't know. But their main thing is like thought stuff, right? And like doubts. Like doubts are with both of you. You both have doubts. But they have like doubts. In the practical reality, they fare quite well, right? But they could use some innovative ideas. You know, maybe they get stuck in security and they need those innovative ideas to get out of that sense of security and have more adventure in their life, or take a risk to have something grow or develop, something like that. But with the twins here, I'm seeing a few things. Psychic connection, specifically on the soul level. It might not be on the thought level, like you can read their mind, but it's going to be on the soul level where you're having experiences or feelings and they're having that too. And yeah, it's just with dual natures here, we have the light eye right here, which is the moon. It's like the moon's reflected, and you have over here the sun. And it's kind of interesting how you guys represent these kind of elements to each other, you know? If you think of the moon, when it's dark and when the sun is not opposite it in the sky, it's hard for the moon to light up its environment. And specifically, I'm seeing the moon and sun metaphor coming through here, with the wolf being the moon and you being the sun. It's like people are too afraid to get close to you or look at you because you're so bright. But with the wolf energy here, this is someone who easily absorbs and reflects that light. So it could be that a lot of people in the connection are more attracted to the wolf in the long run. Like, they enjoy your presence, but a lot of your guys' mutual friends they might attract more people who can actually look at them in the eyes or make eye contact with them or just have more of a connection with the wolf person, mainly because they're reflecting your light. You know, if the wolf person was alone and didn't have you, they wouldn't have anyone. They would be alone, right? So there is this switch kind of thing happening with the illumination between both of you. And they kind of get a little bit more glowy, right? They get a little bit more glowy, a little bit more people want to talk to them or experience them, something like that, where you guys get a little bit of the satisfaction of being able to retain people in your guys' connection as a couple while also still providing warmth, right? It's like you can sit there and provide the warmth in the dinner at the dinner party or whatnot, and there can be the one that's talking or having people look at them, right? They could be garnering the attention, and you guys could be providing the warmth in the conversation. Some of the ways this could manifest in your connection with the wolf person here is they could be sharing a bunch of information, and then you guys share a joke every once in a while to lighten the mood, but people still go back to listening to the wolf, something like that. So yeah, I think I'm going to end your guys' reading here. I think that about covered it. We got through your meeting. We figured out how you guys were going to meet. And we also talked a little bit about your connection. So I hope you guys enjoyed the reading. Yeah, if you want to help out the channel, please like or comment below. Other than that, I will catch you guys in the next pick a card. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye. Hey, group 2, this is if you picked the red fire bracelet. I think called the fire bracelet and the 10 of Swords card. So feel free, guys, if you're in a dark time right now or anything like that. Apologies. Okay, so apologies on behalf of the universe. I'm sure there's a good reason for it in game, right? In game. Okay, so your first moonology card is last quarter moon in Gemini. Clear your mind. Okay, let's get a animal oracle card. We're gonna get an animal oracle card for you and then one for your spouse on the right side. So animal oracle card for group 2. Did I say group 3 earlier? I meant group 2. Group 2. Animal oracle card. We have otter. Very nice. And let's get an animal oracle card for your spouse. And then we'll get into how you meet and all that good stuff. So your spouse, we have fox. And I want to pull a love story oracle card also. And we have forgiveness. And a citadel card. Just an FYI, if you skip the intro and you just picked your pile immediately, there is a section of the intro where I show all the decks that I'm using today, so you can just screenshot that and you'll actually get the image of the deck too and all that good stuff. So if you want to look for these decks later. And you have the thief, seizing the moment in selfishness with your citadel card. So let's get some tarot cards for you guys. I think I'm gonna pull 4. I can't remember. It's been a couple days since I filmed the last group, so I can't remember how many tarot cards I pulled for you guys or for group 1. So we'll just see what comes out actually. So what needs to come out for how group 2 will meet their spouse? What tarot cards need to come out? Let's see. We have Judgment. We have the 7 of Pentacles. We have Death, and we have 9 of Swords. Okay. So let's make all these pretty in the shot. You know what's weird? My camera looks like the cards look totally level in the camera. And then I notice when I'm editing or when the video gets uploaded, they're all slanted. And I've like had this struggle with making the cards line up perfectly, just to be aesthetically pleasing for you guys and keep that order in the reading. So you're not like, you know, just focused on some kind of random haphazard structure that's in the reading or whatever. Maybe that applies to your life. Maybe you guys like to keep things ordered, or that's something that's coming in soon, like some kind of ordering of your environment, something like that. So let me look over your cards and I'll get into your reading. It's so funny you guys picked the 10 of Swords, because one thing that I'm noticing in this particular spread, we have clear your mind here. And the Ten of Swords is a mental card, first and foremost. I mean, it can talk about a variety of different things depending on the context of the reading. All tarot cards can. They don't just have one specific meaning. They apply in relationship to other cards. And I'm seeing with the Ten of Swords that you chose, with clear your mind here, this could be something that one of the reasons why you chose this reading today is because the clarity of your mind is directly proportional to the love that's in your life. So you guys may have noticed in previous relationships that if you were overthinkers, or you were paranoid, or you just had too much weighing on your mind, or you constantly were like studying things and you constantly were absorbing information, but it was stressful, something like that, having a love partner is going to clear your mind and ease a lot of those anxieties, especially because we have the Ten of Swords as the card you chose. That's like the final stage of thought process, right? The thoughts have weighed this guy down so much that he's literally dead. All the thoughts have killed him, murdered him. So it is this kind of feeling of death and rebirth. We see that again here with the Death card, that this relationship is going to bring you, and that relationships in general, I kind of see is what brings you to some extent. It's almost like you judge your relationships based on the clarity of your mind. It's like, how clear is my mind? How clear are the things that I'm going about doing in my life? Like, do I feel stress-free? Do I feel relaxed? Do I feel like I don't have any disturbing thoughts in my head? Stuff like that. That's kind of something that's coming through as kind of an indicator that you will know. That's one of the reasons why you will know that your spouse is your spouse. Like when you guys get to know each other and stuff like that. And through the process of meeting them and through the process of getting to know them, there's a feeling of knowing that your mind's getting progressively more and more clear. If you guys have tried to meditate before to clear your mind, I'm seeing that it was a struggle or it was very difficult to do so. I'm seeing a lot of activity with the Phoenix here and the Judgment card and the Death card. There's a feeling of a lot of activity, a lot of vibrancy to your personality. So I feel like it's very difficult for you guys in general to clear your mind. You may have tried multiple methods, but the only thing that works is if you're in a partnership with someone who is more, I don't know if I would say they're clear-headed. They're more clear-headed than you. It's just that love in general clears your mind. Like having love, practicing loving acts could help clear your mind. And just in general, having someone who loves you is kind of what I'm saying. Like someone who really cares about you guys could really like help clear that mental chatter. It's like love directly like blasts all that away with it's like beautiful light, you know? So let's get into you and your spouse and what I'm seeing here. First, with you with the water element, and that's what I did with the last reading. I want to talk about you guys first, so you know if this is you. Maybe that clear your mind example really resonated, and now you know the piles for you. But I like to do this in the beginning of the reading to give you like some past context, just so you know if this reading is applicable for you, right? That way you can move on to a different pile if this doesn't really resonate in the beginning, something like that, and you can like move on to a different pile in the reading or whatever, you know? So first of all, with the Otter card, you guys are represented as a very playful person. I think you guys are very flirty. I think you're very playful. I think you're very adorable, which is really amazing because I think a lot of people find you really cute. You know, cute is the operative word coming through here because otters, like if you've ever seen an otter, like they are just the cutest things, right? When they crack their little food on their stomachs and they're floating in the water. This is just like I'm getting very cute vibes for you guys. Like there's a feeling that your future spouse is just going to want to squeeze you. Like you guys have that kind of cuteness where it makes people like, it's so funny because it could even be that you've had some people in your life who've like picked on you or something like that. But they're just like, how do the expression, the phrase coming through is, I can't say or do anything to you because you're just so nice, but it's like they kind of want to like squeeze you. You may have had people who hugged you really tightly when they meet you or give you like extra long hugs, something like that. And that's just because you guys are so adorable and you have such a playful energy that people want to like embrace it and kind of squeeze it out of you. You know those memes online where people want to like squeeze babies or squeeze puppies, you know, because it's like this cute thing. It's like, it's a weird thing. I know there's like a psychology behind it. I haven't read too much into it, but that's the vibe that I'm getting for you guys is that people want to like pinch you or squeeze you or something like that, where they want to really embrace you fully and kind of just like cause you a little bit of pain because you're so cute, right? It's not pain in a bad way. It's just like they want to squeeze you is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. You guys are just so playful and adorable, and that's like something really coming through. I'm also seeing the yellow and the blue. I don't know why I said orange. Maybe orange is significant. We see that in the Judgment card with the Phoenix. And we also see that in the Fox card. They have this golden yellow with the orange borders or orange faded borders. One thing I'm seeing, well, first of all, the combination between you and your spouse is yellow. Like yellow is the combination that comes between both of you. So I really feel like your combination of as a relationship is going to cause a lot of self-esteem, a lot of confidence for both of you, a lot of kind of like lacking in doubts. It's going to ease a lot of doubts that you had. I think there's a lot of certainty in this relationship where you're not going to be doubting your partner's intentions. You're not going to be doubting their I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. I want to keep talking about you guys as a personality, but I'm just getting a little bit ahead because I'm noticing the yellow. There's just a feeling of lack of doubt. There's a feeling of assuredness. There's a feeling of confidence. There's a feeling of knowing what you want and knowing who you are. And that's for both of you in this connection. Another thing that I'm seeing with you having the blue and green, you guys might be a little more communicative or loving in general than your partner. Like you guys have this ability to share your heart freely and speak your truth eloquently and in a loving way. So when you express love, you're very eloquent is kind of what I'm seeing. You guys are not afraid to share your feelings with others is kind of what I'm seeing, or share what you like and stuff like that, specifically with like emotional context and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't think you guys hold grudges either. I'm getting that with the green, like you guys possibly don't hold grudges. I'm feeling some of you after I said that, some of you do hold grudges, like but the part of your path in life is to learn to get over those and to forgive people, and specifically also to forgive yourself. So that could be something coming through for you guys. Okay, so now I've gotten into a little bit about you guys with the otter here. Also, you're represented by a water symbol. It could be that you're intuitive, but I am seeing a more general combination with the water and the earth and in your partner's energy. So it's not necessarily representing you, but how you are in the relationship, right? So if you don't resonate with being super intuitive, maybe you rely on readings and pick a cards for your intuition or to see into the future or to get in for inspiration for life or whatever. That might be something that is kind of going to come out in this relationship with your spouse, is your own intuition and your own assuredness in kind of like intuitive information. Okay, let's get into your spouse. So first of all, your spouse with Fox here, the spouse you're going to be meeting in your next marriage, with the earth symbol here, is very grounded and kind of rooted in reality, right? Like earth animals to me are like grounded of the earth. Like they can be very sensual, like charismatic in a very earthy way, right? So not necessarily super showy, not like necessarily the life of the party. It's not like Leo energy, right? Leo energy is kind of like this fiery kind of component to it. Earth energy is more like a sense of groundedness that attracts people to them. Also, though, we do have the fox as the animal, right? And foxes I see as kind of crafty. They to me they're representative as tricksters in a way, and that's where the orange borders coming in with their creativity. I think your partner's very creative and has an ability to solve problems really effectively, specifically sensuous, practical problems. But in general, they're just very creative. They might have a creative hobby like art or music or something like that. And in general, they have kind of this foxy feel to them, that they're kind of like crafty or something like that. You guys are very playful. They're very crafty. One thing I'm seeing that's common in common with both of you is you're both very innocent. You both have this kind of sense of innocence about you, and you both have a cuteness about you. I wouldn't be surprised if you're propositioned by other couples who want like 3-ways with you, or other couples who just want to be around you, like in your presence, or just people in general, like want to be around both of you. It's one of those energies where it's not like a person's going to only like you and not like your partner. You guys are going to attract friends, relationships, people who are attracted to both of you, because both of you are very, very lovable, right? Both of you are very, very, how do I put it? Like, it's not like it's not charisma. You both have the cute factor, right? You both have the cute factor. Now, your partner also is going to be a little more mysterious. They might be a little more aloof. The interesting thing here is what I'm seeing is, well, I'm not really getting so much of a predator-prey dynamic, but I'm seeing a few things. So first, with otter and fox here, there's no predator and prey dynamic, right? So there's a vibe here that no one's really going to be the one constantly pursuing the other one. There's no game of like chase and chase and catch, or chase and, like, you know, in some relationships, one person's always making advances towards the other, and the other person is kind of like, you know, like more hesitant, or the other one's kind of like letting them chase them. You guys don't have that kind of chase relationship. And it might be that you guys have dealt with those in the past, but this, whatever the case, you guys don't have that kind of relationship. It's kind of like a simultaneous kind of energy is kind of what I'm seeing. Now, even though you're both very cute and adorable, and you both have this sense of cuteness about you, with the fox living in a totally different environment than the otter, you guys come from different worlds, right? So you might have the same kind of cuteness to you, but you both come from different types of lifestyles, different worlds. I wouldn't be surprised if their parents have a different type of political agenda than your parents do, or come from a completely different culture. It's like, you know, you could be Indian, they could be Mexican, something like that. Totally different cultures and totally different like aspects to the cultures. But at the same time, maybe you both are really cute and adorable in your own way. Like there's an individual quality that unites you both, that kind of is similarities, but you also have differences in worldviews. And I think that enriches your guys' life in general. But yeah, with the earth symbol and the water symbol, in general, I see these two elements as very harmonious. I think the connection will be very easy to start, a relationship that's very easy to engage with initially. So it's going to be a very easy flow when you initially meet this person. Let's get into how you're meeting. With forgiveness here, I think the thing that sparks this meeting is a sense of forgiveness for either yourself or others. I kind of mentioned that earlier. Did I mention that earlier? I can't remember. But with the otter person and you, I think there's a sense of forgiveness here. I think both you and your partner have to forgive people in your life. That's something that's coming through very strongly, that you and your partner, before you can meet, have to learn the lesson of forgiveness. That's kind of like the key to unlocking your meeting, or to really feeling the essence of your partner. It's almost like you won't be able to see this type of person in your environment, like this type of person that you could be with, without forgiving people in your life, or specifically forgiving yourself. If you don't forgive yourself for the things you've done, if you feel very guilty about stuff you've done in life, this is coming through as you need to forgive yourself for certain actions. You know, one thing, it's kind of cliche now, but one thing that's around on the internet a lot is like, you did the best you could do with the knowledge you had at any given time, you know? And here's the thing too, there's also the fact that maybe you did something that wasn't the best. And maybe you feel bad about your ill intent. Like, man, I did this thing and it was like hurtful, and I knew it was going to be hurtful, and I still did it. I had the knowledge anyway. There's still an evolution to your soul, right? You're not that same person. Right now, because you feel guilty about that, even if you didn't feel guilty about that in the past, maybe you guys had issues with bullying or something like that, either people bullying you or you bullying other people. The vibe that I'm getting here is you didn't develop your empathy yet. Not all of us develop empathy like at a young age. You know, some of us have to learn it, and not even just learn it, but some of us actually have like spiritual breakthroughs where we start to feel sympathetic and loving towards other people. That could have been where your loving personality came from, honestly. But with forgiveness here, there's some forgiveness that needs to happen deep within your soul, and within when you're forgiving other people. So for those of you who weren't the bully, you were probably bullied or picked on growing up. And the thing is that I'm seeing here with forgiveness is it's important to forgive those people, because think of it in the reverse, right? Those people have probably evolved and changed as well. It's not like they're the same exact person who hurt you in the past. They're evolving and changing as well. Now, there might be some people who haven't changed. Maybe you know some people in your life and they haven't changed. But you can still forgive them for their future change, right? Forgiving them is actually going to help them change in the future. But anyway, both of you have lessons of forgiveness to learn. Like I said, even if you don't hold grudges against other people, like I mentioned earlier in the reading for you guys, and you're thinking like, well, I don't hold grudges, I forgive everyone. Maybe you don't forgive yourself. Maybe you don't forgive things that you did to other people, or things that you were responsible for, right? The point is to forgive yourself for those things, right? And move on. You know, you're not going to do those things again. That's just how life is. We all have, that's why we have memories, right? It's just to remind us of like all the things that like good moments as well as bad moments, but moments that are kind of defining for like our identity, essentially. Like they're defining who we are, and like if you let some of those go, or how do I put it, it's not letting the memory go. You're always going to have the memory, but if you forgive yourself for the memory, right, if you forgive yourself for what you did and give an emotional relaxation to that memory, it can just make you feel a lot lighter, a lot freer, and a lot more playful, like you guys naturally are. I think that when you meet this person, when you're very clear-headed with that forgiveness and they're very clear-headed with that clear your mind, that's what kind of attracts both of you together. And I think your connection together is going to keep your heads clear. Okay, let's get into the actual meeting. Well, we kind of, with Judgment with the Phoenix here, we got into this forgiveness. There's a little bit of a transformation, but I also see with Judgment in the Death card too, which is kind of ruled by Scorpio, there's a lot of passion in the beginning of this connection. And specifically, there's going to be a major world event that facilitates this relationship. So whatever the major world event is, I don't know. I really don't read into major like politics and stuff like that on my channel. I really just do interpersonal stuff, but there are readers who do political stuff, political readings, or you can listen to astrologers and stuff like that. But there will be some kind of major world event that's going to catalyze both of you meeting. It could be something where maybe one of you has to move or something like that, and because of something going on in the world, and you meet this person after you move, something like that. It's really a blessing. Judgment is a blessing. It talks about having a sense of good judgment, specifically with world events. I mean, Judgment is preceding the World card in the tarot. So the way I see this is like a movement or an awakening that engages you, but it's also happening to a whole bunch of other people, right? It might not be happening to everyone, but especially a select few of people are rising above or being, how do I put this, exalted. Their souls are being exalted for this next stage of life, right? So you and a bunch of other people, you're going to notice a few other people like this too, where you're going through a transformation where you're being exalted in this world event. You're rising to a higher status. You're being more free in your personality, or you're getting something from the universe. That's kind of what I see here. And you'll notice other people are going through this experience too. I see this person is exalted at the same time as you are. So this is not going to be a person who, when the major world event happens, is like miserable and like hates the world event, because I see both of you are being exalted in this period of time. You're both rising to new heights. And so that's how you're going to meet this person. There are spiritual philosophies that talk about the old earth and the new earth, and the earth kind of splitting in two, and like the paths you choose with your energies determines what earth you're going to be on. I definitely see you guys are moving into a higher level of earth. I don't know if I necessarily subscribe to the fact that the earth is splitting and dividing in that way, but there are different levels I'm seeing to the world and the earth, and you guys are moving into a new level together, a new experience together. Seven of Pentacles talks about when you guys meet initially, you're going to be talking about the long-term aspects of your connection. So one thing that I'm seeing with the long-term aspects of your connection, you could be talking about growth, development. You could be talking about children. I don't see the Six of Cups here. So children are not that significant. Doesn't mean they will be in the future. They will be in the future or won't be. It just means that in the current time, you guys are talking about probably more practical long-term things, you know, like both of your finances, what jobs you guys want to have, how you can make the relationship work in the long run. It's interesting because you guys are both kind of represented as like innocent kind of energies, but together you guys kind of have this ability to discuss future events in a very practical way. I think the Fox Spirit person kind of is interested in this kind of stuff, but at the same time, I think it's just a synergistic thing between both of you. You're like really ready to get your life started together. And with that ease of interaction with the water and the earth symbol, I think it's going to come pretty quickly. I don't think this person is going to be someone who you have to wait a long time to like discuss long-term stuff with. I think you discuss long-term plans right away. With the Death card and the Nine of Swords, I'm kind of seeing these energies merge together. Nine of Swords can talk about nightmares, and I'm actually getting an image that something about your guys' hormones, like maybe when you guys have your periods or something like that, you have a lot of anxiety, something like that. There's something about your guys' hormones. If you're a man watching my channel, this could be a period of time when if you are feeling ever highly sexualized, like in a way where you're feeling really, for lack of a better term, horny, sorry guys, for lack of a better term, if you're feeling really horny, right? Something like that. Or my female viewers, if you're moody because you're about to have your period, something like that. These hormonal things going on with you are one of those things that like your partner is going to be able to like handle, is kind of the word coming through, like handle them or ease you in those moments. You guys might be the types of people where when you're going through any kind of hormonal change, you get very moody or testy or something like that. And this person is really going to calm you down. We do have them as earth energy, so they're very stabilizing, right? If you guys are all over the place, like you're playful, but you're also maybe overly emotional or something like that, they will calm you down. They'll ground you, essentially. This is very grounding connection. Death here does talk about your guys' sex life too, right? And judgment as well. It's a lot of passion. There's a lot of passion here. Don't mistake this grounded energy for someone who's boring. They're not boring. They have like a groundedness to them, but they are feisty in the bedroom. They're like fierce. And I think initially that passion is very much ignited. It's like an easy flow between both of you, but there's a lot of passion. There's a lot of there could even be a lot of, what's the word? Like PDA in the beginning, or not being able to keep your hands off each other. If you're not the type of person who expresses PDA, or you're against that or whatnot, I see a lot of private time. I see a lot of isolation from friends. I see a lot of going by yourselves because the sex life is just happening on fire. It's like a lot of intimacy right off the bat, right? There's a very physical component to this connection for sure. The death card can also mean a few different things. I'm seeing the guy who's like the soldier who's dead down here, and the death like is more of this like this blue woman as like a spirit, or I know she's a specific goddess. I don't know which one, but she's holding a trident in a bowl of fire. The vibe that I'm getting with her is that it's like, even though certain aspects in your life are going to die off when you have this person in your life, it's like certain things are just going to fall away. Like certain things are going to be let go of. This also aligns with the Judgment card, where you're changing with the world. So like you're aligning to a higher vibration or a new reality. Like this could even be a reality shift, like you're shifting realities. But with the Death card here, I'm getting a strong vibe that your spirit continues with you, right? Your spirit continues, your playful spirit continues, and to not let, with the Nine of Swords being the anxiety and the Death card kind of representing this wild energy, to not let those shifts, how do I put this? To not let your thoughts run wild with these shifts, right? With clear your mind here, because when you shift into this connection, your mind will be clear. Through these transitions, your mind will be clear. And the Nine of Swords is in death here is just kind of a warning that like letting you know that like, it's not like you're dying or a part of your spirit is dying. Like you, your personality, your spirit is moving on to this next level. It's not like a part of you is dying or your identity is falling away. You guys might have issues with like holding on to who you are when you transition into new phases of life. But with this Fox person, with your future spouse, you'll be able to hold on to that identity. You'll also be able to hold on to your spirit. That your sense of spirit is kind of what I'm seeing. Even though a part of you is, so I'm getting a message like while I'm talking, and there's kind of a feeling here that like, only take this if it resonates, but there's a feeling here that your spouse can be like more relaxed in the bedroom and you guys are the more active, energetic one, something like that, as far as like your connection or something like that. And there might be a joke in your future relationship when you guys get to know each other where your spouse is like, you just walk all over me, don't you? And you kind of like chuckle and you're like, yep, that's right. Like, that kind of thing, right? With the Thief here, let me get into the end of the reading here. With the Thief, this kind of represents your guys' kind of like spiritual or soulful connection. With seizing the moment, I really feel like, at least spiritually, you guys seize the moment. With selfishness, I think you guys are not afraid to be selfish around each other. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. It's literally like, the vibe that like, and here's the thing, you guys are still going to give to each other. You're still going to be caring. Your partner's still going to like add things to the connection and be there for you and all that good stuff. But it's almost like their selfishness is accepted because it doesn't harm you in any way. It's like whatever they're selfish with, you're just really comfortable with it. You're like, yeah, you can take that. Like, not a big deal. Say you like Oreos and they like chocolate chip cookies. In a situation where you both get a bag of cookies, it's like your partner, I can't remember who likes Oreos or chocolate chips, but your partner would like, you be like, yeah, take all the Oreos, like be selfish with the Oreos because I have chocolate chips and you can be very selfish with the chocolate chip cookies, right? So there's a feeling here that you guys can both be selfish with certain certain resources, especially with the thief being like associated with money. And it's almost like you guys steal from each other, and it's like a cute thing. It's almost like other people would not, like, some people are not into like sharing their food. Like, for example, like if they're at a dinner party or something like that. But this person, it's like you can like eat food off your partner's plate, because your partner is like, if they're full or whatever, you can just eat the food, right? You can eat the food off their plate. And there's like there's not a batting of there's not a resentment here of like not being able to share food with your partner or share resources or something like that. There's a lot of give and take in that regard. And with the thief here, it's almost like selfish in how it happens. Like, it's like your partner doesn't have to ask, like they can just take something of yours. So for example, if you guys are watching this reading and you don't resonate with that kind of energy, or you don't think you would be in a relationship like that, this is probably not your pile. Now, for those of you who've resonated with all the readings so far, and that's the aspect that you don't click with, this still could be your pile, and this could be a growth point for you guys. Like, it could be something, and it might even have to do with the forgiveness here, right? Where it's like letting people like be themselves or be a little selfish. And it's also about learning to let yourself be selfish as well. But for the most part, I see this as kind of a natural tendency that you like to have with your friends. It's like, I don't need to ask. Like, you don't need to ask, like, just take it, like just have it. Like, you don't need to ask if you could have this, like you can just take it, right? That's kind of the vibe with thief, is this feeling of taking. I also see a feeling of taking, like seizing opportunities in life as well. There's this feeling that a lot of money is coming your way as well as a couple. There's a feeling of like a lot of financial resources, and there's a feeling of having a lot of business opportunities come up with you and your partner. At least one of you is going to have a lot of business opportunities, and it's about seizing the moment on those business opportunities, right? And with Seven of Pentacles, this is where this card comes in really clearly. With Seven of Pentacles, there's this vibe of like planning for the future and like talking about the future way before it happens. So you guys are totally prepared. When opportunities arise, it's in an alignment with what you want, and you're able to seize that opportunity, right? That's kind of the vibe here. It's like you guys have the ability to plan for the future, but also be in the present moment, right? Because we have seizing the moment and we have the Seven of Pentacles. With last quarter moon in Gemini, clear your mind. This is interesting because first, with the Gemini moon here, your guys' communication could be really great, especially when you're planning the future or talking about the future. Even in the bedroom, you guys could get into verbal play in the bedroom, something like that, where you guys say sweet nothings to each other, or there's a feeling of like just hearing the other person's voice in the bedroom, or they say the right things to you in the bedroom, something like that. With clear your mind here, conversation is going to help clear your mind as well. And also, it's just that thing that I mentioned at the beginning of the reading, where with this connection, the biggest benefit, the biggest plus for this relationship is having a clear mind, like knowing what you want to go for, because you don't have conflicting thoughts in your head. That's the vibe. There's no conflicting thoughts. That's the thing with this partner. It's like they eliminate all the internal doubts. And that's the thing that really causes you to want to marry them. And that's the thing that really solidifies your connection. As easy and as passionate as this connection starts out to be, with that clear head, you guys have a very, very, like peaceful sense of self. It's like they really make your inner world serene and peaceful, and you don't have to worry about like, you guys are still gonna have stresses in life, right? With the Nine of Swords here, that's the thing about this marriage that I'm seeing, is that when you guys have your hormonal shifts, whether you're a man and you're very, very like sexually horny and stuff like that, or whether you're a woman, you could be a woman and be horny and have these things too, but with women, I'm seeing mainly when you're having your period or like the week of your period or something like that. With Nine of Swords, you could have like a little bit of anxiety. Like maybe you're the types that like gets anxiety with your period, something like that, or their time of the month, right? Whatever the hormonal changes are. But with death, it's like, any of these transitions, right? You're going to get through them, and your partner does have that grounding effect. That might be a time where you need to spend a little more time with your partner to feel a little more grounded, to feel a little more comfortable, something like that, to ease these anxieties, because they have that grounding influence on you. If you're a male viewer of my channel and you're really represented as having a higher sex drive at this time, with the Fox spirit here, they're going to be able to like, they're kind of like they absorb that sex drive. So you guys could have a lot of sex at this time period or something like that. And they kind of absorb that sex drive and kind of get you to have that clear mind once again. And then you can like go out in the world and do your daily activities, stuff like that. Like sex for you guys is very cathartic is what I'm seeing. Okay, I think that's about it. Thank you guys for letting me read for you. If you want to help out the channel, please like or comment below. With that said, I'm going to move on to the next group, group 3. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I really appreciate you here on this channel, and you know, it's just like, you know, it's so much fun to do these things. I have so much stuff going on in my life, so I hardly get motivated to do them. But when I do get motivated to do them, I love doing tarot readings for you guys. Like, it's so much fun. Anyway, so I'll see you guys in the next period card and catch you later. Bye. Hey, group 3. Sorry, I'm still setting up, and I already filmed while I'm setting up. Maybe you guys need to get the jump on some project, but there's some last minute things you need to do with it or something like that. Anyway, so your group 3, you chose the effort card, and you chose this silver bracelet or a metallic bracelet. I can't remember what I called it in the intro, but this is for group 3. Okay, let's get into your reading. Let's get a Moonology card for you guys to start with. Okay. Deck's a little sticky. Maybe that'll be relevant in the rest of the reading. First quarter moon in Capricorn, unleash your kind of self. And let's get 2 animal oracles for you guys. Let's get it. What I'm going to do is put you guys over here on the left side, then your partner, your future spouse on the right side. Down here is going to be more about how you guys meet. There's going to be some other aspects to the reading too. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's see. Who is group 3? How will they know this reading's for them? What is their personality like? Let's get an animal oracle card for that. And we have vulture. Cool. Okay. And let's get an animal oracle card for their spouse. For group, oh, this one flipped out of the deck. We have starfish. Okay. Now I'm going to get you a love story oracle card. I'm so disorganized. I just talked to group 2 about how I like to be organized. And now I'm feeling so disorganized for some reason in this group. Maybe you guys are feeling that way too, or something like that. So your love story oracle card is differences. And let's get a Citadel card for you guys for group 3. I'm so curious why you guys selected the silver bracelet or the effort card. I had inklings about why people chose the other indicators, but I'm not getting any messages for like why the effort card was chosen. Like, I kind of believe, and then your Citadel card is the Smith, overthinking, taking action. I kind of believe when people choose their indicators, like, it doesn't necessarily mean that's what's coming up in the reading, but I always assume that's like present moment energy, right? Like, or whatever reason why you're drawn to that. Maybe it's like a lesson in relationships or something like that. But I'm curious why you guys picked the pile you picked. So you'll have to comment below like why you chose the effort card. Okay, we're gonna get some tarot cards. I try to pull 4 for this reading. For the rest of the groups, I try to pull 4. I maybe pulled 5 for the first group, but I can't remember. Let's see. Okay, tarot cards. How will group 3 meet their spouse? Let's see. We have 8 of Wands. We have Queen of Wands. We have Knight of Wands. Oh, and we have 5 of Cups. Okay. Let's get all these looking nice in shot. I can lower these a little bit, huh? Okay. Okay, I think I want to get into the reading. Okay, so first in this reading, I like to talk about you guys first, or how you're represented. This is just so you know if you picked the right pile. You know, if you really resonate with the personality of this vulture that I'm about to describe, that's how you know you picked the right pile, and then you can know if the rest of the reading is like applies to you, that kind of thing. So first of all, with the vulture, let's get into your personality a little bit. The 2 words that are coming through to describe you guys is darkness and freedom. I think you guys like to wear dark clothes. Like, you guys probably, if you might have like gothic outfits, something like that, or you dress mainly in blacks or dark tones, something like that. If you guys are like workers, or you work in a job or something like that, you wear like the darkest suits, or you wear like darker tones, something like that. You could have darker features, like darker hair, but it doesn't have to be. I'm seeing the purple right above the vulture, like the purple glowing magenta color right above him. And it you guys might at some point have had magenta hair, red hair, or purple hair or something like that. Or maybe you dye your hair pink or something like that. Vulture is giving me the vibes too that you guys look older than your age. Like, you look older than your actual age. Not in a way that is like where you look like you've actually physically aged. It's just you guys have a maturity about you. There's a sense of maturity about you where people can sense that you have like almost like you're wise, like you have a wisdom about you, but people really respect your opinions, right? You might get a lot of people talking to you about people that they don't respect, right? And like comparing you to them and being like, I can never respect this person because they don't take life seriously, or I can never respect this person. These are other people talking about other people to you, right? Other people saying like, I can't respect Bobby or, Clarissa or whatnot because like, they don't take life seriously. Like they're always like goofing around and they don't know anything about life. Like they're so naive. I think a lot of people who really respect knowledge and authority are really attracted to you. With the vulture here, there's just this feeling of being older than your peers, like having a mature attitude. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys have older friends because it's like you could look 25 or something like, I'm just using this random age. You guys could be any age watching this, but you could look 25 and then really act like you're 40 years old, right? Like you have this mature attitude about yourself. And with the air symbol here, you do have a sense of freedom about yourself. Like, I think you guys are like air in general, which means that like you guys can there's either two things coming. You could be everywhere at once is kind of a vibe that's coming through, or in general, you could just like not being tied or restricted to situations, right? I think even in group situations, if there's like a group and it's like, oh, we all have to do this together, I think that's like the kiss of death for you guys. I feel like you guys are the types that like want to be able to escape whatever situation you're in whenever you need to escape, right? It's like you have this side to yourself that appreciates alone time, or it's not even alone time, it just appreciates time away from whatever you feel is tying you down. And that's kind of air energy in general. Like birds kind of can fly, they have a higher perspective because they see a lot, but at the same time, it's like this feeling of escaping from gravity, right? Compared to like earth energy, where it's like stable and grounding and it's close to the earth, and it's like if the earth is this force pulling us into one thing and solidifying us, air is this thing that like if you ride the waves of air, you can escape gravity. So there's this feeling of being like light on your feet, being able to move at a moment's notice, and kind of keeping your life like that. If you guys go on vacation, you're not the ones to pack like your whole wardrobe or something like that. Or even if you do it, there's this feeling of being able to pack it up quick and move on. Or there's this feeling of being able to, how do I put it? Like you guys, for some reason, I don't know, this is just a mess. I'm not seeing this in the cards or anything, but there's something about message coming through right now about material possessions that like you guys can leave certain material possessions because they encumber you or something like that, or they don't feel like there's this vibe that you don't take a lot with you, right? Like you don't take a lot with you. Like if you go on a camping trip, you take the bare necessities, right? Because you want to be able to move quickly. Like you're the types that, if like something happens on a trip or with a group of friends or something, you can just get up and leave really easily. You're also the types, like, you're not the types to like deal with things that are unnecessary. Like if you're at a party and there's a coat check, right? And you have to like turn in your coat. You're the types that probably are just going to keep your coat on because if you want to leave, you don't want to have to get your coat out. You just want to be able to leave when you want is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Like there's a feeling of that sense of freedom of like needing to escape. And even with the darker tones of the vulture and a lot of blacks in this card, I am seeing a more shadowy element to how you leave. Like people can just be like, where'd they go? They were just here a moment ago, but they just left. Like what's going on with them? You might have a few people who might even view you as someone who's like more antisocial. I don't think that's the case with you guys. I feel like you guys are very social and very like socially adept. It's just that you don't like to be tied down. That's all there is to it. You don't in general like that feeling of having to be somewhere against your will, right? There's that sense of freedom there. It's like you don't want to, you guys would not do well in prison. I'm telling you, like if you had to be confined somewhere and you had to, that would not be good. If you guys are involved in any kind of illegal activities, be very careful because if you guys get caught, you're not going to like the consequences of having to be confined. That's how you know if this is your pile, because that's an aspect about you guys. And the other thing is darkness. I'm getting the two words darkness and freedom. And so if you have a sense of darkness about you, you dress in darker tones, you like darker things, maybe you like horror films, maybe you like all these things that are like really shadowy or something like that, or you're the types that actually enjoy shadow work. We all, You know, some of us dread shadow work because it's like, I don't want to go into the darkness. I don't want to think about all these dark things. And you guys are like, it doesn't bother me. You know, there's that vibe here. So that's a little bit about you guys. Now we can get into your spouse and who you're going to marry, and then we'll get into how you guys meet. Yeah. So with starfish here, your spouse is a little bit different than you. They might be a little brighter or more cheery than you, that kind of vibe. They're also someone who is like all over the place. I definitely think this person, how do I put it? When they enter a room, they check out everything. This is really nice for you guys because for someone who needs to escape from situations quickly, this person knows all the exit strategies, right? Like they're aware of what's going on in the room and they have a little bit of foresight. They're represented by an intuitive energy here, this water symbol. They have a little bit of foresight in how things are going to develop. So they are looking for the exit, right? They're like, this is the type of person when they walk into a room, they check out everything first. Like, and if it's like inappropriate to do that, they'll make the rounds socially, right? Like this person's very socially, you're both kind of socially adept, but this person is like, knows how to make social activities work to their advantage so they can like get other things they need done. So for example, they might even like, if they need to, like buy a couch or something like that, and they know the owner of the store that's selling the couch, like they can make a personal call to that person, and you know, like, or they could make an appearance with that person or meet them at a party or like set up a lunch date or something and kind of like offer them like a friendly hand or like a friendly thing. And this person tends to like be on friendly terms with everyone, honestly, but they have this ability to utilize their connections in very practical ways, you know, and they use their intuition to do that. That's one aspect of them. Going back to the party scenario, if they're going to a party or something like that, this is the type of person who like walks around the whole space to check out what's going on. They see who's there, who everybody is that's there, and then they kind of come back to like your vibe or something like that. So if you guys both go to a bar or something like that, where you guys just feel the need to escape, but maybe you don't explore your environment that much, this person is like explores the environment fully because the starfish is pointing in all directions, right? They have to go everywhere at once is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. And with that intuitive energy, they get a lot of energy from seeing a lot of different things. So this person might also be an explorer in some sense. And just because it's a starfish, they might shine, like they might have that personality that takes center stage. And it works really well with your personality because it's that kind of contrast of dark and light, that kind of contrast of yin and yang. You know, there's this vibe that one of you shines and one of you remains hidden and that kind of vibe. But overall, they get a lot of intuitive information from exploring their environment for sure. And it's interesting, even though they're not represented by a freedom element, they're not an air symbol, they really do, how do I put this? They give you a lot of freedom, right? They're the type of person who's not afraid to walk away from you at a party and go check something out, or if they need to check something out. And I see you guys are okay with that because on one hand, you appreciate the knowledge to be able to move quickly when you need to move. And they're the same way. It's like when you need to move, they're moving. When you need to get doing something, they're moving too. You know, or like you can split up and divide and conquer and you come back. I see both of you as very resilient. Oftentimes when I see partners who can spend a lot of time apart from each other and come back together and like keep that oscillation like apart together, I see that as like a resiliency within the individual personalities of the partnerships. That's something that's coming through with both of you. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other ways this relationship would play out. I'm seeing the dark spots in the starfish. And then the vulture is being coated in darkness. I think the starfish, even though they shine brightly, there's still elements of like darker like aspects to them. So they might dress in like brighter clothes, but their eyes are really like dark or something like that. Or they might dress in like maybe more colors or something, but then they wear this dark eyeshadow. So they have this like darkness in their eyes or something like that. This person mixes darkness and light. Yeah, with the air symbol and the water symbol, I really feel like you guys are going to clash upon first meeting. This is not like an easy meeting at first like glance is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. It's not really clashing. It's just like you don't understand this person's motives is kind of what I'm seeing. This is the type of person where you would probably watch a few pick-a cards to see what they're going through, and then that would help you figure out what's going on in the connection. But overall, with the differences card here, this is something indicating the beginning of your connection. It's like this person seems so different from you that you're thinking like, how would this ever work, right? It might be that you're very attracted to your partner initially, but you're noticing how different they are, and you're thinking like, I don't know if that would work with my specific way of being. You know, it might be something where, I mean, it's just it's almost like it's like a difference in personality or something. It's giving very much like opposite vibes, like opposites attract, but then being kind of like cautious, like, do I really want to be with this person? Like, they're so bright and sunshiny, and like they have this kind of like almost like a exploratory positive kind of attitude, and I'm not like that, you know, that kind of vibe. And what I mentioned in the beginning of the reading with both your personalities, you guys bond over action, right? You bond over the fact that one of you wants to move at any given notice and have the freedom to do so, and the other one is checking out all the ways that could happen, right? So there is this kind of spontaneity to this connection that, like, when you guys merge and you get together, and that's something you can focus on when you're noticing this person. You're seeing, oh my god, they're so different from me. You know, they might actually, here's the weird thing with 8 of Wands, you guys might be forced into action together. That's probably one of the ways you're going to meet. And at first you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, this person's so different. How am I gonna do this? It might be a coworker situation, although I'm not seeing Pentacles energy here. I do see a lot of Wands, so it could be something like a passion project or something where you actually have to do work, but maybe you're not getting paid or something like that. With Vulture and Starfish here, it's one of those things where it's like, oh man, I was put together with them. Like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, they're this way, and how's that going to work with me? You know, one of you might even talk to your boss or something like that about like the connection and be like, how is this even, like, why'd you pair us together? Maybe your boss, honestly, or whoever pairs you together, or however you get paired together, it's either the universe playing matchmaker or it's like someone externally, because we do have people here with the Queen of Wands and Knight of Wands, so other people could play a role in this connection. Other people could be introducing you, that kind of thing. But it's like you're very hesitant. You're like, no, they're so different from me. Why would we work? Like, why is this gonna work? No one gets this. Like, I don't get this, you know? But with 8 of Wands, it's through action that you guys bond. It's through activity that you bond. It's through kind of like a sense of divine timing that you bond. You're going to be thrown together in some kind of situation where you guys are forced to be in action with each other, and it's going to work out beautifully. It's going to come so easily, and you're going to be like so relieved. It's going to be instant relief, right? Because this person seems so different from you. But when you work in action with them, and this is how you're meeting, you're being put together on a project or something, right? And it's very divine. It's like very divine timing. It's very much like this is not the type of person you could plan to meet, or you're going to meet on an online dating site or something like that. Because I think initially you're not attracted to their almost outer appearance is kind of what I'm seeing, but it's through action that you guys really connect and click. And I think you guys find each other attractive. It's not that you don't find each other attractive. It's just that you think that their personality or how they appear on the outside wouldn't jive with your sense of like mystery and your darkness to you and your sense of freedom. You know, this person might like cling on in conversations when they talk to people, even though they're ready to move on in a moment's notice. They might actually, like, in conversation, you might notice them like really being very forward with other people in social situations, and kind of like really, how do I put this? Like clinging to people kind of socially or something like that. And you might see that as a little clingy or something initially, right? But that doesn't mean you guys don't get along in the long haul, right? Or that the fact that it's just very like, it's very sudden with the 8 of Wands here. 8 of Wands is suddenness. It can be divine timing. It can be action. It's this sudden impact of something, right? And it comes from the heavens. It's very aerial in nature too. Even though it's a fire card, it's like they're flying through the air. So this differences card is the thing that kind of keeps you guys distant from each other at first. But once that divine moment happens, you guys get into action with each other. It's like, oh my gosh, this person, I click with them. Holy shit, this person is amazing. Like, I work very well with them. This is like loads of like work off my shoulders. You know, it's like there's so much. It's like you work in tandem. That's the beautiful thing. With Queen of Wands and Knight of Wands, this is just giving me like other people in this connection could be playing a role. Specifically women that are either your peers or older women. And Knight of Wands is talking about impulsive energies in this connection, or being around impulsive energies. So I'm trying to think of where impulsive energies would be. It could be like on a sports team. It could be at a bar. It could be anywhere where people get to fly off the seat of their pants and do whatever they want. Something with daredevil type of action, something like that. It's anywhere anyone's going to be impulsive. It could be when people are lowering their guard, something like that, or where people are impulsively trying to make a sale. If it's a work environment, right? It's like people are like not even competitive, because I'm not getting the Five of Wands here. It's just like a feeling of climbing the social ladder or some kind of impulsive thing. With Queen of Wands here, I'm really feeling called not to use my traditional meaning of the Queen of Wands, because I usually talk about this being mystery or extroversion and kind of finding a balance between those two things. I don't think that's the issue. If that's coming up in the Queen of Wands, it's going to be instant recognition through action that you will be able to overcome these obstacles. Like I said, this Eight of Wands energy, when you guys first, like how you're meeting, even though you've like known each other either for a while, or you're very separate from each other, you're eyeing each other from like a distance or something like that, as soon as you're put into action together, it's game on, right? And with the Queen of Wands here, there could even be some kind of person, once they see you get it, like I'm getting the vibe of like a person who wants to match you up with this person. Like it's like they want to match you with your spouse, and they might be part of the matchmaking process or something like that. But once they see you guys work so well together, they get a little envious. Like they never thought it was going to work out between you two. And so they get a little envious, and they might try to split you up, or they might try to get involved where they're like, maybe they might say something like, why don't you ever hang out with me anymore, right? Like you always hang out with so-and-so, or you always hang out with your future spouse, right? But you never hang out with me anymore. I feel like this Queen of Wands is giving me like a jealous energy, or like a too passionate, right? Like they initially wanted you to be happy and be in a relationship, but once you kind of got happy and you were in that partnership, they wanted you all to themselves. And it's almost like you invite them along. You're like, hey, you could come along and hang out with me and Starfish, right? I'm just gonna call him Starfish, because I don't have a better name for yours. I don't know your spouse's name. It's gonna be different for everyone. But you invite them to hang out. It's like that's the initial meeting with your spouse. There could be this tension. Even when you find out that your spouse and you work well together, there could be a social tension, because this Queen of Wands energy is very jealous of like your connection with this other person, right? And the vibe that I'm getting here is like you invite her to hang out with you. You invite this woman, or it's like a feminine jealousy, right? So you can think of like traditional, I'm specifically seeing traditional straight relationships where it's like a jealous woman with like a man, it could be a jealous man or whatever, but she's represented as like a jealous female energy. Whether this person is gay, a gay friend, a gay male friend, or this is one of your friends who's also like a lesbian or something like that, whatever this person is, they're represented by that general feminine, it's like a feminine jealousy of like how do I put it? It could be a little bit envious too, because that I kind of associate that with feminine jealousy as like a little bit of envy. Like they might be a little envious of this person, wanting to be like them, something like that. But it's only when they find out you're so close. Like they kind of wanted you to be happy, but once they realized you were happy, they just wanted more time with you. So that could be something that you take into account, right? You might actually want to spend time with this person that maybe needs time with you or is feeling left out. If you guys want to reach out to that person, that's fine. I'm not sure how vicious this person's going to get. It depends on how well you know them. If this is just a casual friend and you're not that emotionally close, I feel like if you were emotionally close with this friend and it's someone who's a close friend, they're not going to be that vicious towards you. It's not like your friend is going to turn on a dime and change their personality, right? Like that's not the case here. They're just a little lonely. They're a little envious. They are a little jealous, right? So they have that passion inside them, that fiery nature, and they kind of want to keep you to themselves a little bit. And it's not like, they might even put a proposition like, how about you spend some time with me and then some time with your Starfish person, And you guys might, think like, why can't we all hang out together? Like, why can't it just be one big party where it's like all three of us? But they don't want it that way. And it's almost like they're too envious or jealous of the Starfish person to kind of like socialize with them too much in that regard. And that might change over time. But initially, they have that jealousy's getting in the way of them connecting with your spouse in the same way they connect with you, right? So with the Knight of Wands here, there is some kind of like impulsive energy to this connection, or like, and we specifically saw it with the Eight of Wands, where there's this kind of like impulsiveness to how you guys click and how you guys form a connection. It's like there's a breakthrough, right? It's giving me vibes that like if you know each other socially or you know each other like interpersonally, you don't really click till you find out you work together, or till a similar passion is stirred and then you guys apply your strengths together. But yeah, with Knight of Wands here, there's a feeling of rising through the heights. So it might be that your ambition takes over in this moment where you guys meet, or when you're sort of meeting each other and you guys get really ambitious with different projects or something like that. That's something that's coming through. With the Five of Cups, this is coming through as like, how do I put this? It's interesting. It's like you guys are going to be going through a slight depression when you meet this person too. It's like, it's not a major depression. It's just like you guys are thinking like, man, I don't have this anymore in my life. Or I don't have this anymore in my life. It could be representative of seeing the cup as half empty. Maybe this person, the starfish person, is more positive, more optimistic, and you guys are a little bit more pessimistic, a little more seeing things like negatively or something like that. That's something that's going to change in this connection, but might take a long time to change. Like, I definitely see you guys with that working attitude. You build a lot of your relationship off how you work together. So even in social situations, you kind of figure out that you don't need to be exactly next to each other or like engaging with the world together, right? You guys initially have that situation with this Queen of Wands person, but you soon learn that you guys work better apart than together. And it's not like you guys don't love each other and you don't want to be together. It's just that with other people, you're like, nah, you can go hang out with those people and get really close with them. And I'm going to go over here and have my freedom and talk to who I want to kind of vibe. You know, there's a feeling of not like letting the other do what they want and being okay with that. That's where the sense of freedom comes in. Initially, you guys work really well together. So like on projects and stuff, you will work really well. In social situations, you'll divide and conquer. That's kind of a vibe that I'm seeing. But with Five of Cups, this is a longer term energy. And it's coming up in why you guys meet, because it's something that the cards want to urge you. Don't be discouraged if this doesn't change overnight. It will change eventually, or it will get worked out eventually. This comes with, you know, a little bit of the darkness that you guys experience in life and stuff like that. But Five of Cups talks about a little bit of pessimism, a little bit of realism, a little bit of seeing the glass as half empty, right? Seeing that more things are going wrong than going right in your life, that kind of thing. So one thing that I'm seeing that they help you with in the long run, right? And this is why it's coming in the who will you meet, because it's kind of the meeting process. It's like you guys have a long kind of process of getting to know each other is kind of what I'm seeing in this connection. It's like there's a longer process for the emotions to be solidified, right? The passions are there. You guys might even hook up pretty quickly, something like that, or the working together is really easy. The passions are there, but as far as like emotionally connecting, you guys do emotionally connect on some level, but it might take a while before you share deeper insights. You might take a while before you share like where your heart lies, what your heart is doing in this connection. And that's why the meeting process is very long with this person. It's really nice too, because it's like you guys get a lot of time to know your partner. You're going to get a lot of time to engage with them, to get to know them. That can be really fulfilling in and of itself, because that just indicates a very long and drawn out honeymoon period, right? Before you guys are like comfortable and you're married and you're just taking care of responsibilities or whatever, you know, once you're married, you know, sometimes that can take the magic out of a connection. Not that it will necessarily for your relationship. It's just that the courting process is going to be longer with this person than it normally is with someone else. And all relationships are different. If someone tells you you're going to know right away, or you can get married in a month, that works for some people, but some people need a longer time to get to know someone, you know, and that's just how it is, right? And specifically with emotions and sentiments, it's going to take a while before you guys open up each other's hearts to each other. And that's just because you guys have a more pessimistic way of seeing things. They have a more optimistic way of seeing things. But those two aspects aren't going to synergize until later. And one thing that I'm seeing is what happens is they get a little more realistic and you guys get a little more hopeful. That's kind of the vibe that happens over the long haul, right? Let's see what else I'm seeing. With the Smith, this is kind of the spiritual union of this connection. You both are builders, right? You build with each other. You're building things together. With this hammer hitting the anvil, it's like really strong like forceful creation is kind of what I'm seeing. So even if you guys work together on something, you're both using an element of force in what you're working on, right? It's like, there's a feeling of like when you're dealing with practical things, which is interesting that you guys have that because you're represented as an air and water symbol, but it's like you do work on practical stuff together, you know? And the Smith is coming through as like fire earth energy. It's almost coming through how you work together, but it's like this forceful, sudden kind of like, how do I put it? It's like the forge. It's creation through force, right? This is like not the kind of vibe where like some people in like I'm this way personally. But I kind of have this way of like flowing through life, right? Like if something, I don't like force things, like I just kind of adapt like water, right? That's kind of how I float through life and stuff like that. But there are situations where you just need to force it, you know, like it's not a bad thing. It's just like you guys have this kind of like forceful kind of like, I'm going to take this on, like head on is kind of the vibe, especially when you guys work together. It's like taking the thing head on, like taking the challenge head on, like pushing through. There's a kind of persistence that I'm seeing to you guys that you have. Maybe in the past when you guys tried to flow, like with either one of you, when you tried to kind of like flow like with life or be very flowy or something like that, like it never worked out, or maybe you felt like you lost opportunities, something like that. I'm getting that's coming through kind of strongly, like feeling like you lost opportunities because you didn't take advantage of them right away, or you didn't force your way through, you know, maybe you guys were too gentle at some point and it led someone else to get something you wanted or something like that. And you learned you have to take charge in order to get what you want. So the way you guys work together is very take charge. It's very like attack focused, like head on, like charging forth. That's kind of the metaphors that are coming through. And spiritually, you guys are like that too. Like, especially with, I was mentioning earlier with you guys in the shadow work, it's like, if you guys are spiritual people, you probably discovered shadow work pretty early and you forced yourself to do it all, right? Like you forced yourself into that and you were like, no, I'm going to push through. And it's kind of this vibe of like pushing through, not taking things easy, using a lot of willpower to get through things is kind of what I'm seeing. But yeah. Yeah, with Smith, we have taking action. With overthinking, that's not applying so much, but the aspect that this is talking about is if you guys ever catch yourself overthinking, the answer is to get into action, right? Especially with these wands energies, it's like the answer is to get into action. So if you find yourself overthinking, like, oh, I don't know about this, I don't know about this, just get into action. Your natural flow state is action. I really don't see you guys overthinking too much in general, because once you're together as a couple, the action flows very effortlessly and you guys are always doing it at the same time. It's like, you know, I have readings where like one person, like I do this, like I do relationship readings a lot, honestly, is personal readings, like just a little bragging, right? I've done like over like 180 personal readings for people. And that's just ones that are recorded. I've done numerous personal readings in my daily life and stuff like that. Not to brag or anything, but I just want to point out that I've read a lot of relationship dynamics in readings. And sometimes a common thing is for someone to be kind of lazy and the other person to work while they're relaxed. So if someone's too tired to work, the other person works for them. And if the other person gets tired, that person gets energized and works for them. It's kind of like a caretaking kind of vibe. But with this vibe, I see you guys working together. Like it's like teamwork. And you might work separately, but you're still working at the same time. That's kind of the vibe that I get. So when you work a room, you guys might take on separate areas of the room, but you're still at the party doing the same thing at the same time. If you guys are like back home relaxing, you both relax together. You take it easy together. If you need to work together, it's that forceful action thing. But in general, I don't see you guys overthinking too much because your natural flow is action is kind of what I'm seeing. Let's see if okay, so let's get into first quarter moon in Capricorn, unleash your kindest self. This is something that's really interesting and it's a very transformative aspect. First of all, with Capricorn here, you guys might have something coming through. You might have some synergy with your Capricorn placements, like with whatever is in Capricorn. There might be a synergistic element to someone else's planet that's also in Capricorn, or there might even be an element where maybe you both have empty houses in Capricorn, something like that. There's some kind of thing where there's a balance between both of in your charts with Capricorn. But with first quarter moon in Capricorn, unleash your kindest self, this is coming through saying that all that work you do, all that action you guys put yourself through, all that willpower you accomplish, it makes you kinder people. This is the kind of vibe where like work softens the soul. And we see that again here with the Smith card being represented as your spiritual side, but work softens the soul. If other people have come into your life and they've told you that like maybe you're a little mean, or like maybe you're too truthful or blunt or something, and you're not kind, you don't take care, you don't like listen to them. And it's funny because both of you are represented as very like almost like blunt people is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. And you kind of are both in that camp, right? Is someone who just says what's on their mind. And, you know, it's like that can be really refreshing for people. I'm not trying to say you guys are mean to everyone or like no one likes you. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, you know, you might have one camp of people who want you to be very gentle and kind and say things in a really nice way. And you might have another group of friends who are like, no, just say it how it is. Like, I don't care. Like, just say it how it is, right? And so with both of you being like that, it's like saying it how it is. It's interesting how your connection actually softens both of you, and you guys can actually adapt to more people that are outside your normal realm of people that you talk to. It's kind of what I'm seeing, but it's through hard work. The hard work softens your energy. It makes you guys more kind. It makes you more gentle. I still think you'll be able to speak the truth, so don't worry about losing the previous friend group that likes the truth. Or being your blunt attitude. It's just you guys learn this way of communicating where it's kind of like more kind. And it's just in general, work makes you kind. That's kind of what I'm seeing here with the Capricorn energy. Capricorn is kind of like a worky career, kind of like earthy, kind of like achievement kind of vibe. And with Unleash Your Kindest Self, I see that work or getting into hard work makes you a kinder person for both of you. You know, it makes kind of you guys really... And that's the cool thing. It's like when you guys become kinder through the work, your heart's open with that 5 of Cups. And you guys are more able to express your emotions to each other. And that's the beautiful thing here. It's like you start to have these really cathartic emotional experiences. And I think that's when you get close. I think that's the moment where you start feeling like I could marry this person, right? That's the moment where, you know, it's interesting. It could be that one of you proposes in the middle of an emotional discussion, right? Like you guys could be opening up emotions to each other. And I'm feeling, I just got this image of you guys on the other end watching this pick a card being like, emotions, disgusting, you know, like, but you guys will get there eventually. And it's through work that you will get there. But at the same time, it's, how do I put this? It won't feel uncomfortable. You're not going to feel like how you feel now watching this, where you're thinking like, I don't want to deal with emotions, you know, F that. Like, I want a more practical connection. The connection is practical. It's just that emotions will come out eventually, right? It's just going to take a while for those to come out. And maybe you guys are like that. Maybe you don't trust people right away. Maybe you don't share your emotions right off the bat with people until you know them for a really long time. But what I'm seeing here is when you start sharing those emotions, it's going to be so bonding and so powerful. And it's good. I really feel like your partner is going to propose to you, or you're going to propose to them with one of these emotional experiences that you guys are both experiencing together. Like there's going to be some kind of opening of the heart, and you maybe have been thinking about proposing for a while, and it's like they just said the right thing, or they emoted the right thing, and it's just, maybe you're digging into their shadow or something like that, and they say something and you're just like, I can't wait any longer. Like this is the moment to propose, when we're having this moment of not necessarily weakness, but we're having this moment of like an emotional breakthrough is kind of what I'm seeing for both of you. Yeah, I think that's about it. I think that's all I have for your guys' reading today. I want to see if I think of anything else real quick, actually. Okay, I don't think there is anything else, actually. Okay, so I will end your guys' reading there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for letting me read for you. Thank you for being open to this energy with this tarot reading and this pick a card. If you guys are interested or you want to help out the channel, please like or comment below. And with that said, I'm going to end the reading there. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was an honor to read for you, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.